the thing about Trump is you can't ignore Trump. If you do, then you get caught out by things like him ending up becoming president twice. But equally, you can't take him at face value either. You can't take Trump too seriously because. Although we think, the second term is going to be very, very different from his first term, we think that one of the things that is likely to sort of repeat is this tendency that he says an awful lot of things, and most of them end up just not coming to pass. So we think there'll be an awful lot of talk, most of it sort of emanating from Donald Trump himself, but it doesn't necessarily directly convert into action. And in terms of tariffs. Look, I think the sector that you just had about Korea, I thought that was made a couple of very good points. One is that everybody's had since November to kind of see this coming, and actually what we really saw was a massive overreaction in the markets in December, and on a lot of things, not just on tariffs, but on all things Trump related. The markets just completely got out of shape about it, and since pretty much since 1st of January, I think there's been generally a much calmer approach, but we're still going to see these huge day-to-day reactions when Trump says something, markets react wildly, but it's not necessarily real. It's just how Donald is feeling at that given moment, and how that translates into a tweet or a comment or a press briefing or whatever it may be. But a lot of those, they don't end up directly becoming policy.
Don't you think the markets have a whiff of that? Because I don't see the markets reacting as crazily as perhaps initially was expected. Yes, the first few announcements, the markets did get rattled, but it's not like they're coming off a cliff.
No, I think that's right. I mean, I think it's getting more muted. It has. As I say, December was really a lot of extreme reactions in a lot of different markets, particularly in bond markets. We published a piece where we said before the election, we said actually in terms of the direction of U.S. U.S. policy and U.S. sovereign pricing, it didn't make a massive amount of difference in terms of substance, whether it was Harris or Trump, because there wasn't a massive amount of policy difference that was going to emanate from them in terms of how it affected bond pricing. But also, neither of them are powerful enough to be able to break the American bond market. They can put some tiny dents in it from, short-term dents in it from time to time, but neither of them would have been powerful enough. One of the things that Obama always lamented about being president was it was a great title, but didn't actually come with a great deal of power. And as James Carville famously said during the Clinton presidency, the bond market is an awful lot more powerful than the president. And I think we'll gradually see that come to pass.